Goku looks so fucking cool. There's no reason for me not to play him.
I got called a name and then insulted for using my extra large control.
So like, honestly, I'll be real with you. I'm about to go try hard mode on this demo build.
Whoa! Called him out!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of Mount Paozu Arcade. I am BrkrDave here with Hell Pockets and with our special guest, BrkrDave. What's up, man?
Yo.
You know, I'm really happy we finally got to get you on here because we definitely think you have a unique perspective on this game and have for a while. And you know, even in our chat and amongst our own conversations, we're like, yeah, we didn't believe, man, and here you are being like top 8 and winning, or not, well, doing pretty well for yourself at Wednesday Night Fights and at Evo. So we got to hear it, man. How did you know ahead of time that your team was legit?
Dude, my team is just one character.
All right, break it down, man, because we don't know.
I just decided I like the fat throw mechanics, so I want to, you know, I play anime games, so I recognize anime when I see it. So it's just a matter of being creative, and that's kind of what I do. So people aren't ready yet.
You think that's like a disrespect thing, or just like, wow, no, they just think there's no way that, you know, Majin Buu could be good? Because otherwise, I would have seen a ton of Majin Buu players by now, you know?
Well, if you have 100, I don't know how many frames, let's say 100 frames to do whatever you want, like, there's no way that someone could be ready for the specific setup you've done. I mean, people are stealing my setups, but I come up with a new setup every week.
That is true. You have a surprising amount of depth to that character. I think a lot of people hit the ceiling a lot quicker with their characters than they do with Majin Buu, but you seem to be, I mean, I think you were still finding stuff up until the patch.
Yeah, I mean, I actually had setups that were like specifically for Evo. I didn't get to run them against some people, but that's when you lose, when you don't get to run.
What was it? One of those things where it's like, man, I'm not getting a chance to use this setup. I better just find a way to work it in the conversation, or you just literally didn't get a chance to use it.
Against Sonic Fox, I didn't. Majin Buu didn't hit him, so
shit.
I didn't get a chance to do anything. And Team Gohan hit him one time, and execution errors.
Yeah, Team Gohan kind of lives and dies by that. I've found. We look at a lot of some of the Japanese Team Gohans. You know, they have to be airtight with their execution. And I mean, the damage is totally worth it, obviously, but it just seems so stressful, especially with the bomb loops. And seeing a bomb loop drop was like, oh great, I just gave my opponent like an out, and he's like the full screen like length away from me.
They also go for more stable. That's just Japanese in general. Like they're gonna go, they're not gonna go for the most optimal, maybe a little unstable combos. They're gonna go for what can I do that I won't drop 100% of the time.
That's a smart way to go.
So their Team Gohan combos are a little bit suboptimal, but they do them. That's important.
Like you definitely saw at Evo, people who don't have that high level of execution combos, like they were dropping shit too. So I would imagine that at those stages it would have been difficult to replicate that type of stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball is one of those games where you get lots of hits that are unconventional. So you might not always have like the right way to convert it, just like that, if you have a character that has not necessarily all of the best tools.
Well, what we're seeing a lot of now is a lot of people are taking to the air and they're using, jump light, and then going for the height correction by if they get the hit and they confirm into it with another light, they get the height correction, they continue their combo. I remember for like months at the beginning of it, everybody wanted to start their air combos with like, jump in for air to airs, right? And that was something that was really limiting a lot of people. And I think Beneath Apology Man was the first one to really make use of this mechanic because Piccolo's freaking sword normal with the jump L, like, you know, why wouldn't you throw it out? Sure, you sacrifice damage, but consistency like went up 100%. So
and with Piccolo, it's really good because your jump M is 2 hits, so you have plenty of time to confirm.
For sure, man. So I mean, you're seeing some transitions into smarter play and whatnot. But I always wanted to ask, you know, I haven't had a chance to ask any of our previous guests, but I wanted to ask you, you know, you've played a lot of fighting games, specifically anime fighting games that were developed by ArcSys, and I gotta ask, like, you know, as easy as people claim DBFZ to be, what's probably the hardest part of about it for you?
Well, what makes it a lot like Persona actually is that there's always something that could blow you up. Like part of the screen. Like if you think you're gonna do the key blast from full screen, you might get blown up for that, like full screen. Like in Persona was that way. You could die at any moment. And Super Dash, like the way you can combo, I think the new meta, or at least like the developing meta, especially in Japan, is like this idea of Super Dash into relaunch with 16 specifically, or you know, Avaro. So you get these mega damaging combos because you're not using Vanish or trying to tag in another character with an immediate jump 2H. You're getting full relaunch into a full combo. The damage is just getting higher and higher. So it's a high intensity, like very intense at all times. The mix-ups are not all that in this game because you have too many defensive options. So I really feel like it's the damage and the full screen options, like even vanishing, just like doing a beam into vanish into pressure is just like really threatening.
Okay, yeah, I agree with definitely the vanish being the one of the bigger problems, at least for me. Just I just hate the fact that one part of the beam touches you and you're already wall splatted, you know? Like that's like the I feel like
you get hit with one baby key blast and it's fucking over. Like, oh, here we go, man.
It's the worst when you thought you had like the great read on the beam and you just jumped it and you're like, yo, I'm about to get like the best like fighting game punish in Dragon Ball FighterZ history, and then like the little base of the beam touches you, you're, bam, you know, back in the corner. And then they vanish it because they mass vanish the whole time. So it's like, hey, cool.
That's actually how I beat that guy at Evo so easily. The what was his Terry Bogard.
Oh yeah, Terry Bogard, man.
He didn't. I mean, generally you throw out a beam and it's pretty safe from full screen, even if they jump over it, but not Majin Buu. EX butt stomps from full screen, easy punish every time.
That was it. That's like full damage too. So it's like a jumping from Majin Buu is so scary. Ugh.
So you just you know, I'm in there, full screen, Vegeta, dead. He didn't block any Majin Buu setup, so it was just like, you know, half a character off of just like throwing a beam.
I mean, we mentioned that before the show. Like Abe was talking about like how you are just making people probably learn matchups they don't want to mess with because they're just like, damn, how am I going to find a Majin Buu player in my area? It's still not that popular of a thing.
Yeah, so you have to actually learn the character, or you'd have to watch me play. Because even if you watch Alayun, like he has a very different style from what I do. He's definitely more on like the stable side. He focuses on just like solid, and I kind of force the issue. I like forcing the issue. I mean, Reynolds and I get along for a reason.
Yeah, like you and Reynolds. I was gonna say you and Reynolds definitely fast friends with as a training partners. I know that he mentioned that during the BCF showdown, that you guys play together all the time, training each other. He actually told us that you went to a Wednesday night fights after playing with him over like a day or something, and I think you beat a lot of people. I don't know if you won or not, but he was just like, yeah, I think he beat Super Noon actually.
He had a long like DM conversation with me on Twitter after I think I went to his house on like a Sunday, and we played for like 3 or 4 hours straight. And then Super Noon came back from Summit of Power Sonic Fox.
Yeah.
And he was leveled up, right, too. So it was sort of like the competition to see, who leveled up more in the Reynold battle or the the Sonic house. So I think he came back, and for whatever reason we played, and I beat Super Noon somehow, and then it was just like kind of a blow up because I'd lost to him like so many times in a row, and he was fresh off of all this leveling up, and then I think I lost to him like either later in the tournament or the next day, and then I had this really long like DM conversation with Reynold, and then the next day, which was a Wednesday night fight, it was kind of convincing in my direction. So it was kind of like he gave me a lot of advice, like here's what you did wrong, like in all these places. And I was like, yep, you're right. I will apply that tomorrow.
Dude, Reynold is about to be the ultimate coach because this dude definitely has quite the unique perspective and I guess sensitivity to gameplay to really be able to understand how to beat somebody. And I always hear everybody talking to him. What's that?
He understands your strengths as a player.
Oh.
So it's not, I mean, it's even more than just like understanding or how to beat a specific person. He actually just like is like, you're good at this, like these 5 things. And that is how you can improve as a player. So I think
that sounds really nice actually to have that in your community. Someone that can actually break you down to that level and say, hey, you're good at this, so you should focus on it. Never had that before.
Reynolds got that juice when he plays though, man. I don't know if he knows how to manage the Reynolds juice, but sometimes he goes too deep and he runs out of the bottle. That dude.
Yeah, for real. But anyway, so yeah, you just got off of Evo and you had a run there. Hopefully you are not satisfied, but you're feeling pretty good about your performance there. I know people were definitely having some buzz around your gameplay. How did Evo go for you overall? You crashed? I think he might have crashed. He just
listen, bro. No, he's just.
It was that bad.
It
was definitely that bad.
Listen, brother. The Evo 2018. Woo, boy.
Oh my god. So right now we're waiting for BrkrDave to return from thinking about how good or bad Evo 2018 were. Obviously, it was a very long weekend for him. But until he returns, we got some news, obviously, right? We just had a recent patch of Dragon Ball FighterZ drop that added base Goku and base Vegeta, and I know you and I have been kind of going back and forth with those two characters being added to our team. I gotta say, man, honestly, I thought I would be feeling base Vegeta the most because I definitely spent the most time with him. But base Goku's kind of like he's like the cool version of Goku.
Look. First of all, I want to give you a big fuck you to you because you never stick with these fundamental characters ever. Like dude, you have like fundamental repellent. You cannot play these characters that have fundamentals. Like you have to have some fucking gangster shit that these characters do in order for you to play them.
I mean, you're right. I try to keep it simple, but unfortunately, it's just not in my nature. Like I can't deny what's in the blood of the kid. So gotta feed the beast.
Did we get you back, Dave?
And then,
all right, man. Just let us know. Yeah, man. I knew you were gonna stick with that character.
Oh man,
I was like, as soon as we started playing, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, we got you back.
You there?
Got you back, Dave.
Hey.
I think so.
Okay. So before Chris asked you the question that crashed the whole call, you had a great run at 2018 Evo, and since then it seems like the scene has kept everybody busy. What are you looking to do to be able to improve in the future with the whole tour that they're doing for it and with the new balance patch for your team?
Well, I was actually really hoping Teen Gohan would get buffed. I mean, he got. Let's not even like talk about it. He did not get buffed. No,
Oh, all right.
Not even close, huh? Not even close.
like he's buff. No, he is not
Uh-huh.
at all. That the air dash. Okay, so what changed about Team Gohan is his 2S. You can air dash after it now, but it doesn't change the mix up at all because the way the mix up worked before is I would 2S. They either had the option to reflect, super dash, or respect. Respect happens very infrequently. So I would usually M legs after it because you can special cancel it on block. So it usually baits if they mash, and if they are pressing something, then I'll still get a counter hit with the M legs. And then you either call assist or you just do like your normal mix up, like jump L into 2L or air dash with the assist because that'll make it gapless. So what the new 2S does is you have like the Kid Buu thing where you can do 2S and then air dash after it. But that doesn't really change anything because they still can reflect and super dash you, and it's actually just more unsafe than it was before.
And it's a lot more telegraphed in Kid Buu's 2S's, where it just literally just comes out in a moment. But you have the wind up from Team Gohan, where he's like, so they totally can react to it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, what are you gonna do? 2M them from like 3 character spaces away? I mean,
that's true.
It's not good. So basically, the main change is they just made it easier to combo. So there are like a few extensions you can do now that you couldn't do before, because the 2S is bigger, or jump 2S, but his neutral is still doo-doo.
At least that's like the highest damage output in the game.
Yeah, well, now that Cell's nerfed, I would say he probably does. So you play him with Tien basically now, in my opinion. Like those two are like your team, like your shell, and then you just add something to that, like regular Goku.
Yeah, base Goku and that should be awesome, actually.
Yeah, base Vegeta would be fine. I mean, just like anything that has like a full screen assist is good with Team Gohan. He's like your mix-up character, so you just play him on point, like Piccolo or something.
Okay.
So you okay? So we talked about Team Gohan's in the patch, but obviously and clearly, even according to Twitter, FGC Twitter, Majin Buu's fucking S tier, bro. So you're good. You don't need to worry about nothing, man. You're good.
Okay. Let's talk about this for a second. Okay, so you've seen the videos where 5L will now hit crouchers.
Yeah.
That doesn't change anything. That doesn't change anything. Okay, so his 5L might be a frame faster than his 2L. So the only thing it might change is the post vanish mash. Like I can now press 5L instead of 2L post vanish. So that is something, but that's the only thing that it changes. I mean, it doesn't make him up a tier, because he essentially has a 1 frame faster jab. It doesn't change his mix-ups because that's a mid. They made his 5LL faster, so now you can do 5LL without them reflecting, but I've never seen anyone reflect Ginyu doing 5L to 5LL, so I don't know. I don't think that's really a big change.
So it's not hashtag I'm about to win Evo.
It's he's still as good as he was before.
Oh, okay.
And he was good before.
So just not S+ tier, S tier.
He's I put him at A tier, but you know, Aliun thinks differently. He thinks Majin Buu is S tier.
Yikes!
Tier.
So you categorically deny that Majin Buu is S tier.
I mean, I've played S tier characters in this game. I know what S tier feels like. It's not Majin Buu. I mean, I've gone through like half the cast. I mean, Reynolds gone through as many characters as I have. I mean, Majin. Sure. So I mean, when you go through and you play every single character, like you realize, like, come on, man, like this character is fat.
That's actually a legit argument.
You can't. I mean, you can't play him anywhere other than second. And does that mean he's S tier? Like he could just go any. I mean, S tier to me means like no matter where they are, what they're doing like the best thing on the screen. So Majin Buu is the type of character that like sits in the middle and waits for you to get the hit, and then you tag him in when he's safe.
Well, we're gonna have to take your word for it. You are the resident expert in that field, and I'm sorry, Alyun, you're not from the West Coast, and we're gonna side with our side. That's just the way that FGC works, and we have to stay aligned.
Hey, Alyun starts out with 0.21, so it's like, you know, he doesn't really think he's that good. 0.21, but Boo is S tier. Alyun's the homie though. I'm not giving him shit.
Dude, I wish he would have made like a GIF of like the camera just zooming in super tight on the 5L and being like, it's over. You know what I mean? Because I mean, pretty much did that already. But his post, it was like, oh, and you know what's funny is 99% of us didn't understand why he thought that. It's just like, oh, I guess so. I'm gonna have to take his word because guess what? I don't know shit about this character.
Apparently 5L just kills you now, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, when he said that was the one change he was asking for, I thought, really? That's the one thing you wanted? Was your 5L to be easier to press? I don't get it. But I mean, there's lots of changes I would add to Majin Buu. For example, Ariel's not clashing with EX cartwheel. Like, give it a better hitbox. I just saying, if something is meant to be like Cell's perfect attack, let's make it like Cell's perfect attack. Or the fact that people can run under your jump H, which is supposed to be a big normal. Like you just like whiff it over people's heads all the time. I'd like his arm fat, his tricep
trying to hang down a little bit there, huh?
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of changes I would make to him, but I don't know if the 5LL was what was breaking me down.
I mean, it was cute stuff. It's you know, it's like 5L, then 5L for the low, and you're like, oh hey, you know, people never blocked that for like a month.
Yeah, you can do 2L 5LL now. I mean, that's cool. But I don't know. 2L was already a low, so I mean, you could already do lows.
You're having a hard time rationalizing this man's ranking.
I guess we could kind of segue in the way that people are looking at this patch into kind of, I wouldn't say that dust is settled 100%, but I think we're starting to get a good idea as to how people really feel about the patch and about the two base characters that got released. And I know initially people were losing their shit over Vegeta being really strong, and similar for Goku. But where do you think, as the dust kind of settles right now, that those characters are at? Are they as crazy as people were making them seem when they first came out, or have they kind of dropped a few notches?
Well, I think what's a little confusing about this patch right now is that there were a lot of mid-tier characters, so they all got buffed. Like the Blues got buffed. I'm hearing like whispers that Broly and the Blues are good now. So base Vegeta is like the new. He's sort of like the new shiny anime, character, right? But I think if people in context, probably not as good as that, but he has a lot of damage. But I'm still a little confused about the neutral. Like you're still playing a Vegeta basically, right? He's probably about, I mean, for me, he's Team Gohan with damage, like with like better normals.
Marginally.
Because he has like a rocket kick, which is what Team Gohan does. He has key blasts that are really fast and good, which is what Team Gohan has. He has like, I guess his disc, he has like mix-ups off of that, right? Because he has air dashes after it. So That's kind of like M-Legs for Team Gohan, to me. So I think they have a lot of similarities. So you could play him on point, and then just like with a couple good assists and in there. But is he like the new Cell? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm hard pressed to think he's like, people are calling him new Cell, new Bardock, and I'm like,
that to me is crazy. First of all, the way that it got called a new Cell is kind of like, dude, Cell never dropped off. Like, Cell was always good. Like, it wasn't like the dust settled on that. It was like the dust never settled because the dude was getting busy from start to finish. Like,
he was always in there.
Yeah, he's always been like, if anything, after the dust settled, people were already like, "Fuck, is this character too fucking good?"
Actually, so that's actually a good point, because we had that one interview with the director of the game, and he was talking about like, I don't think that people haven't really explored the game enough. That was his argument. That
Krillin.
He's like, I think there's some really good Krillins out there, and there's a lot of Cell players, because people figured out really early that Cell has good moves because they like Cell a whole lot. And I'm like, no, because he's fucking good, and it took literally 2 seconds to figure out a 60% damage combo with him for 1 bar.
Yeah, man.
Gotta explore Krillin, man.
I'll admit, no one explored Krillin, but
you can make the normals better in game. Apparently, there's something you can unlock that could just make his 2H fucking monster. That like won't miss anything, dude.
They're about to add a bunch of block stun to that rock.
Oh god, dude! I thought they were gonna do that too, because they kept adding block stun and hit stun to all the shitty fucking assists that had 0 practically. And I was like, dude, Rock is about to be like plus 15 or some shit.
I think that the developers are similar in the way that we were talking about earlier on how sometimes we'll think like, no, I swear to God, this part of the move is what makes this character, right? And then say if they were to come on and tell you like, so you guys didn't know, but if you use the rock this way, it's game over. And then it's like, what are you talking about? In context of the game, it doesn't actually work the way that you thought it did. And then they're like,
don't worry, I made this game. Don't worry, my opinion is correct.
I remember that shit used to happen. I don't know if it was with MVC3 or MVCI when Peter was playing, and he would be like, y'all just ain't using the right shit. And it was like, well, what is it? What is the right shit? I don't know how that concluded, but I remember shit like that would happen. And I'm just curious, like, okay, since you feel that's what it is, what are the things that people aren't doing with Krillin? Because if you just look at it objectively, like from character to character, he just does not have the tools. Like,
well, they weren't even providing examples. They were like saying, look at this one Krillin player that we saw a YouTube video of. He's obviously figuring it out.
And that's the one time he beat like a good player.
Yeah, and it's online. It's the fucking scrub shit online.
Yeah. People have some really meta opinions. Like they'll just like say like, well, this character wins against this character because they have all of these options that beat what this character does. But like in practice, like there's so many other variables that could make you screw up what the matchup is.
Mm.
And I also think they account for the fact that like these guys are over here working their asses off. They're just like, this Krillin player is not chilling. He's working, like, he's sweating like fucking, like it's his fucking wedding night with 18. Like, damn,
defense
this bitch is hard.
Defense gotta be on point. Read gotta be on. How exhausting is it to play characters like that?
It's
Dave, man. How is it?
How bad is it, dude? Because you definitely recently made a switch, I've heard.
Well, yeah. So I mean, my new team as of last night that I entered with for Wednesday Night Fights is actually Ginyu, Majin Buu, and Gotenks. So I think that team's actually top tier. But it's high execution for the Majin Buu into the fat throw with Gotenks. But I in the beta, my team was Beerus, Frieza, and Piccolo. So
nice.
That's pretty sick, actually.
I remember that. I remember you bringing it to the Tuesday. What was it called? What was it called again?
Drop. The Dropkick events. When we were still in like a garage, basically.
Yeah.
I know something about top. I mean, so Krillin and Beerus both have that same problem where everything they do, like could be super dashed at any moment. And Ginyu has a little bit of that problem, but it's not nearly the same problem because it stays on the screen. But Beerus and Krillin, like what they do, it requires an intense amount of respect.
Not only does it require respect, but it's like you have to assume your opponent is going to behave in a certain manner. You know, it's really actually mental conditioning to a maximum degree, and it has to be done in an instant. Like you met this guy for the first time ever. You throw out a Beerus orb, you're like, man, he better super dash through that shit. I don't even know anything about this dude, but he better super dash through this shit, or I'm fucked.
Yeah. I mean, when Beerus was, first released, like, and Vegeta was still what Vegeta Assist was.
Yeah.
I was like, well, Beerus is fine if you just put Vegeta behind him.
Yeah.
Then people can super dash at you all day. Oh, Vegeta got him. I mean, that's how those characters are. Like, you could put Krillin in front and be like, well, Krillin sucks. Well, then let's put 2 beams behind him. He might be all right. Tien and Goku. Like Krillin's fine. You just put 2 beams behind him. Oh, sure.
Oh, there we go. I think also what a lot of people have been feeling with this game is that prior to the patch, for sure, it's forced people to play characters that they don't really want to play. And speaking of the Vegeta assist, I mean, that just made a lot of lives easier. And yeah, it just made a lot of lives easier. They didn't have to change up their gameplay too much. But if you don't have it, then you'd have to be a lot more creative in your gameplay.
Well, there was a time where they were saying, like, the only way you could play this game competitively is if you had Vegeta assist, and he just made everything work, and no one wanted to see Vegeta assist anymore. And then it became what it is now, and it's like, okay, Vegeta has a DP.
Yeah. Well, Vegeta's still a little bit like Band-Aid. He covers all of your mistakes. If you put yourself in a bad position, well, you just call Vegeta. If you do Bardock Lariat and you're -4 now, and they think they're gonna mash, you just call Vegeta. Like, if you vanish poorly, you just call Vegeta. If you do something bad, he's the Band-Aid to cover up all of your mistakes. So I mean, that's why I kept playing him, because people mash, right? So and it's, I mean, even if like you could be a top player and you'd be like, well, I'm plus here, like they're minus, I should press a button. No, Vegeta's there, got my back. And that's what he became. Before, he was like the neutral king, right? Like, you just jump forward, you like quarter them and press Vegeta and they're dead. Like, that has disappeared.
And then dude, like Vegeta by himself, because they were saying, oh, his assist is good, but I mean, God, I wish I could switch out Vegeta for like other shit. And it ends up being that Vegeta's won so many fucking matches in like grand finals on his own that it's like, well, I guess that's not true either. Like, he's pretty legit on his own as well.
People had to finally admit that Vegeta is actually just good by himself.
Yeah.
That
took a while.
His damage is good. And 236L, his rocket kick being sparking, like, you can just like you can wait to see if you hit them and press sparking. That's actually just huge. Because I mean, I've done it so many times where I just press like L rocket kick and I look to see, oh, if they got hit, I do like 7,000 damage. Like, that's a lot to confirm into based off of like one attack that's safe on block, and you can just air backdash afterward. So he's just a good character. Like, I mean, I've definitely like won a lot of games just like from Vegeta doing what Vegeta does, but now Gotenks is that character.
Oh boy, and they took away the smash element from all assists.
Man.
So, dude.
That is the dumbest change in the entire patch.
I'm glad you said it. I wasn't gonna say it.
That is so dumb. I mean, last night, I haven't taken Gotenks into training mode yet, but the fact that I can do Ki Blasts from full screen into Gotenks assist with Majin Buu, go run in from full screen, combo you into the corner, and get Fat Throw off of a full screen Ki Blast because it has no smash property anymore. It's like, and I can cancel it on, like, if you try to super dash my Ki Blast, like, dude.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's just like they have to respect Key Blast from full screen because you have a Gotenks assist. And if they get hit, then you're dead. Like you have to eat that 50-50 in the corner.
Ooh.
Or it's not even a 50-50. I mean, it's like 30%.
You just maybe not like that change at all, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
I was okay with it at first, but
well, because of the way you've seen the Majin Buu extension, right? Like, so like where you get the non-smash jump H into the jump M.
Mhm.
So I mean, you get full like that's a full screen combo, getting like Key Blast into Gotenks into that combo. So I mean, there's that is just a thing. Like you get them into the fat throw off of any assist in the corner. I mean, I'm running Ginyu, so Ginyu works in the corner off butt stomp.
Okay. Did they actually increase Ginyu's hit stun on his strong jersey assist?
I think they did.
I think all of those got buffed a little bit.
Definitely, I knew Trunks did. I knew 21 did. Nappa, obviously. Frieza.
Yo, Nappa.
Yeah, Nappa. People are trying to run. There's a guy in Arizona running Majin Buu Nappa. I think it's a bad idea, but I mean, that is really cool.
But they're both S tier. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Nappa definitely got the early, like, I can't believe it. This fucker got a low for everything. It's over.
You stupid sons of bitches.
Yeah, it's Wild T Cole. He's running supposedly. I haven't watched him play, but he's supposedly playing Majin Buu on point with Nappa behind him and probably something like Vegeta. I'm not really sure. But I think I was actually saying those might be the two worst like big character, like two worst pairings, like in terms of just like big characters that have crap neutral. Like I don't think that's a good idea at all.
I guess because like I mean Nappa's got obviously big limbs, but they don't really extend well, you know.
No.
Yeah.
I mean the only Nappa player that plays him on point. I mean, even Tatsu's not playing him on point. He's playing something else, I think. Is Rogue Yoshi.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Rogue Yoshi definitely up front with the Nappa play.
So he's really good at actually using Gotenks assist. I got to play him for like a solid hour and a half at Combo Breaker. So I could definitely see like him getting a lot more wins now that Nappa has lows. But it still has the same problem as what happens after he's dead. Now you have Kid Buu and Gotenks who are not nearly as good as together as they would have been before. Because I mean that is team not neutral, basically.
Yeah, man. I mean, let's see. Chris, what do we got coming up? That's a pretty big event for Dragon Ball.
I was actually going to ask. Most of the events that are huge for the tour, at least, they're all overseas right now. We've got some. They recently added some radar events to the roster. So you got like things like SCR, which is a radar event, and what a Dragon Radar event is, for those that don't know, is that if you win this tournament, you get a free trip to a Saga event, which is where you can get a Dragon Ball and secure your entry into the finals. So I think the closest one for us is SoCal Regionals coming up. So BrkrDave and Super Noon and Ren will be fighting for a spot there probably.
Well, Wednesday, I might be spoiling something, so Vi can slap me on the wrist, but Wednesday Night Fights is partnering, I think, with Uyu to send someone to Canada Cup.
Yo! Hey!
Nice!
Mount Paozu exclusive.
Nice!
That is pretty cool. So is Canada Cup going to be a radar event or a Saga event is my question.
I'm not sure.
Okay, cool.
With the buku box they got in Canada, bro.
Yo, with the cryptocurrency that they recently just busted out with today, that shit better be a Saga event. The crypto Saga.
Paid off. They're getting the 5th Dragon Ball.
So CO Otaku is apparently also going to be a radar event. So yeah, that's pretty cool. If they haven't announced it yet, sorry if we burst by his bubble, but hey. Blame BrkrDave.
That's cool. I'm surprised that Because I mean, I'm surprised that they didn't offer one where it was like a seasonal thing, where like whoever won the
It
season
is.
for
It's part of the
Wednesday night fights.
season. It's like
Okay.
yeah, like the season winner. They just started the new season last week. So we had 2 events now, and I think Canada Cup's late October.
Yeah.
So that gives like 2-3 months ish for a season. So I think he sort of he was telling us earlier, just like if you don't have a passport and you plan on like taking that prize, like better start working on that.
Get your shit
Dude,
together.
the passport is such a blow up for so many people. Like sometimes people win shit and they didn't know that they were gonna win. And they're like, I don't have a passport, so I can't fucking go. You know, that's cool.
Shout out to KOF players.
Oh, the worst. Right, we can't make it anywhere. We can't travel internationally anywhere. What's a passport, bro? I've never left my city. Like, fuck. SoCal or nowhere. Like, fuck that.
That was blow up for Japanese. Like people would be flown to Japan and who'd never played on stick before Japan was playing on console.
Oh yeah.
So we always have to be like, you can't enter this tournament if you don't play on stick.
Damn.
Because yeah, they used to play on
arcade. Yeah, the arcade SBO shit. Yeah, man. I just thought about that. No pad warriors for at third strike. That's for sure. Shit.
Yeah.
So I guess that means you're going to be going for that then, huh? You're going to be going for that Canada Cup trip?
Yeah, I definitely would go if I won it. You know, what's interesting is that there's so many people that are going to Wednesday night fights that are strong right now that are improving. I mean, last night was kind of like the fantasy bracket like craziness because I beat Reynolds because Reynolds played like crap. And then I lost to someone else, Kuba, who just like, I guess, leveled up out of nowhere. And Subatomic Sabers, who's been like placing highly at every dropkick, lost to Kuba also. So then the top 3 ended up being Dadpool, Supernoon, and Kuba. You know, in me, Reynolds, and Subatomic Sabers were just like gone.
Wow.
So anyone can really win that. I mean, it just depends on who wins that the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. matchup.
That is really a thing. We talk to Ren all the time about it, and it's like that tournament is kind of like, do you have the mental capacity to last till this time frame, or does your work schedule allow you to be able to operate at peak in this time frame?
Well, it's definitely like you have to gauge your caffeine intake.
Okay.
And I definitely misgauged it because usually what I'll definitely last night, like I had coffee before, but usually what I'll do is I'll wait till I get there to have my caffeine. But I had it before, so it ran out like an hour or 2 quickly. So I'm just like sitting there like, I don't know if you ever watched me on that stream, but I'm just like, where am I? Like I can't see. I'm yawning. I'm blinking, rubbing my eyes. Like, I mean,
That's just not cool, man.
It's definitely not cool for people with full-time jobs.
Yeah.
Thank you, dude. Holy crap.
Like, dude, having a full-time job and then going to those events, I've seen people literally, and this is KOF people, shave years of their life away at Wednesday night fights and back when we had the run back of, I don't know if you guys, we talk about Mr. KOF a lot, John Tran, but this dude used to go into work with like 2 hours of sleep because he wanted to win so bad. And I would tell him, bro, it's not worth it. Like, you just fucking go to work. Nobody's gonna remember this, John.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's KOF, but, you know.
I mean, I go now knowing in advance that I'm just gonna be like a zombie, like today. Like
you're gonna have a shit day at work.
Yeah, you're just gonna feel like crap the whole day. You're gonna have like 3 coffees just so that you can continue to function. And I mean, I work 9 to 6 every day, and I have an hour and 10-minute commute. So each way.
God damn. So like they recently started Wednesday night fights up here in NorCal, and it hasn't ended before 2 a.m. yet. I get out there at 6 o'clock because I work downtown and I can just take a train across the river to Oakland, and then there we are, and then I'm stuck waiting till like 10 o'clock for everything to go down. And thank God, like the staff is really nice and they're helping. They're trying to make me feel better about it. But in the meantime, I'm looking at my clock and I'm just like, damn, dude, they're gonna have to go home. It's like an hour ride home. I gotta get some sleep and then wake up at freaking 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Shit. And then they're telling me, hey, do you want to stick around for top 8 commentary? I'm like, fuck no, man.
Oh, dude, top 8 commentary used to be the biggest blow up because you're so fucking exhausted. You can't break down anything that these guys are doing because it's might as well not even be on commentary. You're just trying to sound decent, I guess.
Interesting.
And then it's crazy because I hear about these guys that aren't even from the West Coast that watch this shit. They'll stay up, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you guys do, man. I don't know. I don't know what your life is. How you watch that shit?
We get the European people to watch.
Oh god damn! They never
wake up and then they're like, "I'm gonna watch Wednesday night fights or Thursday morning fights, depending on which one you like."
Yeah, people do get hyped for that.
I mean,
it's still on.
That's such a weird demographic to take like control of too. It's like, hey, it's just like everybody else might be going to bed, but them Europeans, they just waking up and they can't wait to see someone get bodied. I'm like, I'm already bodied, man.
Yeah, dude, you wake up in the morning, you're like, what the hell? Reynolds got eliminated, BrkrDave's gone, and we got Kuba on stream.
What the hell did I miss?
Yeah, Piccolo, what? SoCal.
Yeah, right? Oh man.
Pretty well. I mean, I no knocks to Kuba. You're just like, it's just like if you're tuning in from EU and you're like, what happened, dude? Like
my soaps, man, they don't make no sense no more. Now, like I imagine though, this is probably like a lot easier to do if you're someone like Cloud 805 who is sponsored and all he does is play games for a living now. Is that even something that you would be interested in?
I like money, man.
Nice. Thank you, man. Finally somebody admits it. Like, fuck, it's okay. It's okay that you like money.
I mean, and people ask me like, have I been approached for sponsorships? Am I seeking out sponsorships? My general reply is that the sponsorships that I think I could get right now, if I was pursuing it, are not gonna be lucrative enough to make me quit what I'm already doing to play them full time. Like, or even just like I have a church job, right? So I have a Thursday night and Sunday morning that basically stop me from going to a lot of tournaments. I only get certain days off a year. So, or even taking off Fridays a lot, for video games, that's money out of my pocket, right? So it would have to be pretty like you have to have something like pretty nice in terms of sponsorships to play video games, and that I'm not winning those level of tournaments yet to like merit that type of sponsorship.
Okay. No, that's I mean, really, that's the best way to think about it, because you see so many people who shoot for that really early and maybe even end up selling themselves a little bit short. They end up coming up with these brand sponsors that I won't say hold them back, but they probably wish after they blew up that they weren't attached to them. So maybe it's better to just kind of go solo until you feel like you've reached that point where, okay, maybe I should make myself an offer to these people.
Well, I hadn't actually thought about it, but someone posted like, you don't even have your DMs open, you don't have contact information. I'm like, that's true. I at least opened up my DMs so that people could just like
why don't you guys see me? I don't get it. Why?
I really wasn't trying, and now that I'm on the radar, I'm like, I guess I should like put some thought into it. But playing video games for a living, like how long can you do that, right? Like how long can you be the best?
I mean, I don't know. Vi beat Knuckle do at Evo, so
that's true. I mean, isn't the future of gaming all streaming? So
that's true. Very true.
You need to be entertaining, and I don't know if I'm entertaining. I don't know if I want to be entertaining.
I would say, even if you felt that your personality isn't entertaining, at the very least we know that your team is. Everybody gets fucking excited for you when you make it really far in a tournament and respect your skill set. As a matter of fact, when we were voting for Summit of Power, there was a certain part of the voting where it was like, oh shit, man, like BrkrDave's about to make it in, and I put my vote in, and I don't know what the game changed midway through some of the power, where fucking thousands of dollars started getting dropped on these players and shit, and I was like, damn,
Yeah,
like,
these dudes is crazy, man. Like,
fuck, this shit is not community only. This shit is some different beast. That shit was crazy, man.
When Cloud started getting beefed up real big, I was like, all right, this is definitely sponsor money, man.
Yeah.
Like, someone's definitely dropping, pennies in the bucket from up top. And
well, you know what's funny is he's saying that they didn't, like, he got a huge bump at the end, and he's saying that his sponsorship didn't do it. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, that's probably true, but like that was the mood at the time. Was like once we started seeing those bumps rise, we were like, oh crap, like the sponsors are getting involved.
Well,
like,
they got real dramatic.
Dude, because I was over here thinking like, oh, I'm about to make a difference. I'm about to put BrkrDave over. And then, dude, like everybody's like, as far as like, if you're in the community, you had your favorites, right? Like I wanted Kizzy, everybody from the West Coast.
Yeah.
I wanted pretty much to make it in Kizzy, you, Noon, and all those guys. But then as it progressed, you guys started getting left in the dust by like fucking almost thousands of votes. And when the fuck did this happen? It was a shock to me because the game changed literally overnight as soon as like one of the voting closed. Like you guys were close, but then got left in the dust by some crazy voting.
Yeah, and actually Supernoon came to me pretty early on, and he said like if you're serious about like the summit of power, you need to change your game plan. Like you need to have a game plan for one.
Damn.
And it needs to be a serious one. Like you need to have like people that are ready to just like go to bat and shell out some bucks for you. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna like ride my top 5 while I'm here. And just let it go when I get surpassed. And I kind of just like let it go. And I was ready
for a while. You had a good run.
I was ready for it. I sort of had the feeling like that it was gonna happen. And then the moment I saw that first bump, like when Yo got dethroned, I was like, oh yeah. That's when I knew. I was like, I'm not about to like make this top 5 at all.
Oh my god. If they I don't know if it's ever gonna happen again, but if they ever do it again, are you gonna approach it? Are you gonna go for it?
I'm not go for it. Is probably a little bit too strong. I'm open to being voted for. I would like to be a part of it, but I don't like the idea of asking people to donate money for me. People that already need their money. So that probably it's against my morals a little bit.
Okay, that's fine. I'm the same way. I wouldn't want anyone dumping money in for me to go anywhere, even if they were getting something out of it, like a T-shirt or something like that.
Yeah.
It just feels like I feel like I would never be able to properly repay them, and so shit would kill me for like the rest of my life.
I think Yohozi definitely had like that, like I need to do well mentality because so many people.
Man. Yeah.
And so that was just tough.
Yeah, being in the house. I mean, she had a good she had a good head on her shoulders about it, but there was a couple of times where she was like, shit, what am I doing here? And I had to, I kind of had to back off because I realized like, hey, this is I'm either serious about this moment or I need to get the hell out of here moment. So I just let her have that moment of like just feeling shitty about herself, and she just eventually just went upstairs and started practicing again. And I was like, that's exactly what you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I'm sure like I forget who made top 5. It was Lord Knight, Cloud, Yohozi, and DeKill Sage, and they all ended up doing pretty well, actually, better than I thought they would.
Yeah,
Yohozi obviously, kind of flubbed that, but everyone else did pretty well.
I mean, you want to talk flubs? You look at Reynolds, man, Jesus.
Reynolds, yeah.
That definitely did not go the way I thought it was going to go. I was talking him up the entire. I mean, he did well. I'm not saying he did badly or anything. Like, I was definitely liking him for like top 3.
He's choke artist lately, man.
he just has not been able to find the winning formula. I personally, I really do think it's the balance of life that's affecting him, because the dude just gives up so much juice, like on making those big plays, those big boy fucking reads and shit, and the way that he plays, that he needs a lot of energy to do it, And since I've known him and playing in KOF, he's the same fucking way, because that game was so long. Like when he played 13, he was a champion. Dude, those games would run for such a long time that dudes would legit get gas. It was like an Iron Man match. And the only times he was able to maintain that was when he was practicing a lot, was when he had a lot of free time, and his job wasn't impeding too much on that. But it's like now with dudes that are that talented, it's like, well, people know that you're that good. People know. Like everybody in SoCal knows who's good and who's not, and who's on that level to be a really breakout player. But in a tournament, you have to consider so many things, just like you're talking about. Like, did I drink coffee at the right time? Am I gonna last throughout the whole fucking tournament? And then sometimes you can't even predict that because of the way some tournaments will run a bracket, right? You're like, okay, am I gonna get a break here? And that's key, right? Don't you think? Like, it's key on knowing when you're gonna get a break and when you're not.
Well, Pasadena Regionals really was a tough one because the schedule was so freeform that none of us knew when we were going to play, when we were going to eat, what we were going to eat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were all just like talking. We went to like some hot pot place and we're like, dude, we went to KBBQ before top 8 finals. And we're like, dude, you guys are crazy. Like pigging out the way you are before a top 8. Like, but it was super noon. It was just like, nah, I could do it. And he did.
That's true. Yeah.
Young people.
Yeah, there you go.
Young energy, dude.
Young man. He's got that energy.
Noon energy. Hey man, it lasted him through like top 8 at Evo too, man. Congrats to him, by the way.
He actually has like mental fortitude like no other. Like I've seen him just like make comebacks before. I'm like, dude, like I could not do that. Like I think like my Vegeta is at least as strong as his, but he has so much better just like keeping like that one character come back, like keeping the mental fortitude to actually make it happen. So I think that is just like, and I don't know if that's age. I don't know if it's because I do not have nerves of steel. You've watched me drop a million things in every tournament. I mean, I just can't do that. Some people are just made to perform, and he is one of those people.
I definitely think he's someone that's made to perform, and just incredible run at Evo 2018, beating his NRG demon Hook Game God.
And then following up by beating a matchup he'd never played before.
Yeah, that was like straight, but I think that was just like, Noon's like about to turn up. Like I could feel it. And so I was like, yeah, this is gonna be for all Noon, man.
He just like stomped him. I watched it back only just like a couple days ago, and I was just like, wow, this is crazy. How much like he just read him the whole time.
Some scary stuff, dude. I got a question before we move on to the question segment, though. Since we started talking about players so much, and we've mentioned Reynolds, but like, so who are your top 3 Dragon Ball FighterZ players right now? Can be in any region. Doesn't have to be like diverse or anything like that. Like, who do you think are the top 3?
Well, I mean, you can't go wrong with Sonic Fox and Goichi, so it's really a battle for third, I think. I like to say Fenrich, but I don't know who he's playing now. Like they took Cell away from him a little bit, so post patch it's really hard to tell. But pre patch definitely. I think Fenrich, he trains with Goichi, so that is a huge like help when you're training with who was considered the best in the world free for a long time.
Right.
So, I mean, and it really varies. I mean, part of it is I think Dragon Ball, more than most games I've ever seen, fighting games, I mean, your scene made such a huge difference in this game. Like if you have a strong scene, then you become strong. Like I don't know how Sonic Fox is doing it. He's just good by nature.
He's just a fucking genius, man. Like, that's all it is.
and but like SoCal just in general did so well at Evo. Like everyone pretty much did at least as well as they were expected to do, if not better.
Mm.
And I think that was just indicative of our scene. And then I noticed like some other, like obviously the Goichi's scene, the whatever
Osaka,
Osaka's team, they all did really well. And I think that's just because they have their knit group of people.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess another anomaly that would fall into that too is Kami's performance.
No Kami.
I was shocked by that actually. I was like, who is this person? How is it his third major?
Well, we got a really good preview of this dude.
I was gonna say,
Thursday night at the Goon Suite, which was a little of a surprise because, I mean, me personally, I'm never plugged into Twitter or anything like that, and I wasn't looking at anything. And then he shows up, and I honestly don't know him like by his physical appearance. I know him by his Twitter handle. And when he showed up, I couldn't understand what he was saying. I thought he was saying. He was telling me his name was No Kami, but I was like, a Kami? I was like, I'm trying to do who the fuck is this dude? Like, no Kami. I was like, oh shit. And then I made the connection to his Twitter handle and how he'd been doing really well lately. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I honestly don't know how really good he is because I haven't seen him play the best, but he did really well for himself. And then he played Reynolds. They played a 1-7, and dude was the real deal. Like, I was kind of shocked. Yeah, that dude's a real deal, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Reynolds was pretty shocked too because later on we had him play Doza in a 1-10 for $100 that we put up from Goon Funds, and afterwards he was like, "I want to play No Kami again for this $100, and if he wins, I'll give it to him. If I win." I don't know what was it. If he won,
he'll double up. He'll
double up.
He'll win, but if he loses the 100 to No Kami.
Right. So we would have gave him another $100, I guess. Man, that was a bad deal for us. Why the fuck did we agree to that?
I don't know, man. We just wanted to see the fight and wanted to get Reynolds excited for it.
Yeah, for real. But then he lost. The point is, he lost again after that. That was a thing. It was like it was legit.
So you want to know? Here's some insider info because this fool came. I told him to come over, right? Because I really wanted him to turn it up against Kami because I couldn't really tell if Randall was like really easing off or like taking it easy because I don't know, like maybe he doesn't want to go too hard the night before, whatever. But then I called him over and I was like, I want you to be really honest with me. Like, do you think you can beat this fool? And he was like, yeah, dude, you want me to beat him? You want me to beat him? I mean, I'll beat him. I was like, yes, fucker. Like, we're using our money. Of course, we want you to fucking win. But it was like, also on the other side of it is, I knew that this fucker, Kami, was so good. And I wanted to see these guys turn it up another notch. And I wanted to see Rel turn it up another notch because if Kami is in fact this good and he has this match against him, then I felt that it would have got him in the right mindset for the day after. Because at the end of the day, Reynolds is our friend and we want him to do well. Right. You know? And Kami was just like the icing on the cake that he showed up and started fucking up Reynolds. And I knew it was fucking real because the shit that he was doing, it wasn't like he got lucky. It was like some really hard ass call outs that he was doing against Reynolds. And yeah, I told him I didn't even get to see the match, but I wasn't surprised that he lost. I was actually expecting him to lose. Reynolds to lose that match because Kami, I don't know, man, that dude was just on fire Evo weekend. Yeah.
It was really go ahead. Like because I lost to Kubo in losers, and I heard that he made top 8, and we were saying like, how do you feel about that? I was like, I have no idea who this No Kami person is. Who does he play? And they said like what his team was, and I was like, oh my god, this guy is gonna get rocked. And then he did get rocked. Like that first character, he got like blown out, and I'm like, dude, he's free. It's about to be free. And then he made the Goku Black comeback. I was like, oh my, no, he just got that. That was just like whatever. And then
Goku Black, man. What?
Like, dude, he just, I don't know what happened. He just like made the comeback. Kubo's about to take this free, and then nope. He just like got rocked again. I was just like, what the hell is going on? Like, who is this?
It was turn up for Goku Black, dude.
I've never been surprised like that because I played Kubo and I just like when I played him, it was just like he mind crushed me. He level 3'd me. He did wake up 2H. He just like did all this shit to me that I was just like, well, he walked under my M legs with Teen Gohan with 16 of all characters twice.
Damn, dude.
I was like,
doing it on purpose.
God, like, there's no way Kami's gonna beat this guy.
Yeah. It's so crazy too, man. Because I gave him personally kind of like a little interview prior to him playing Reno, and he said everything he was gonna do. He was like, "I'm 100% confident that I'm gonna make top 8. I have a good chance at doing well." And yeah, I just have really been studying this game, and like lately he's put up some tweets or whatever. I mean, I don't know, I can't measure how much time is a lot of time, but he showed how many hours he spends in training mode, and it's like some ridiculous ass number. But yeah, man, what blew our minds is that we saw him play the day before, and though he did that, I was like, I don't know, it's just against Reynolds. I don't know how he's gonna do against other people. Like, he definitely showed some great skill, but I mean, it's an Evo tournament. You don't know. You know, they're so big that shit happens. So, but he made it. He made it, and he didn't just stay at top 8. He advanced further.
Yeah, over the guy that beat the dude he beat the crap out of the last night. So, like, if anybody thought that, you know, he could only beat Reynolds because it was the read, like, nah, man, he was legit just stomping Kubo with Goku.
I don't even know what to say. Like he just did it. So it'll be interesting to see, like, because that was only his 3rd major. Like, that's the craziest thing to me out of everything that like happened at Evo. It was just like, it's his 3rd major. Like I had played fighting games for 4 years before I made a top 8 at Evo. Like, damn. I had attended 4 Evos, like, and I had attended, you know, how many majors? Dozens of majors before I could like get to that level, and then there he is, his 3rd major, and he's like, oh, here I am, 2,500 man bracket. Like, dude, you don't realize how big that is.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to Nokami. He is a hopeful to try to get him on the next episode, so we'll hit you up, brother. But yeah, man, Evo was crazy. It's been a wild ride, and I guess we're gonna jump into questions, Chris.
I think now's a good time to call on Super Producer Gibby and see if he can field these questions that have been piling up inside our Goon Discord chat.
Do I really have to do work?
I mean, well, yeah, you're doing nothing else right now.
Damn it. All right, fine. Okay, let's see. I did not field any of these questions.
Oh, awesome.
So this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be good. Let's see, where are we? Oh boy! All right, sick. Wish list. First question.
Oh shit.
We'll keep it at 4 characters. Who are the 4 characters you want for season 2 DLC?
Season 2 DLC. So I always wanted to have Gogeta in there. You know, for sure. It doesn't have to be Super Saiyan 4 or Super Saiyan. It could just be.
Wait a minute. Before you go there, I just want to say, we haven't addressed how Cooler ended up on a fucking.
Oh shit! Yeah, man.
And what that opens up for the rest, because this directly deals with that question, what that means for the next characters that get announced.
Because he's not canon, right?
Yeah, he's not. He's definitely not canon. He's super not canon.
So we could definitely get movie characters for. I mean, we could have got that with Broly anyway, but now Broly's canon, so
yeah, it's different. I don't know. They probably. Well, I don't know if they knew about it beforehand, but you can make an argument.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I like Gogeta and Janemba to make it into season 2. I don't think we'll see a great Saiyaman, but I do think we'll finally see some later super characters. Most likely, we'll most likely see Kale or Caulifla or the fuck's the other kid's name? The Saiyan kid, man, the boy. Kaba. There we go. I think that's the next. Those are the next ones coming in.
Kale, cauliflower, and cabbage.
Yeah, cabbage.
Yeah, there you go.
That could actually be legit 2 different characters, because the theory would be that Kale and cauliflower work as a singular unit, and then Kaba is just his own, character. Those are my picks.
Well,
Definitely Gogeta and Janemba.
My coworker is a DBZ fan. He doesn't play, but he said now that Cooler's here, he's like, I'd like to see Super Saiyan 4.
See, that would be digging into a whole different thing because now you're into GT, which I haven't even considered. But I guess it's a possibility, seeing as they've pretty much 100% broke the canon barrier. So I don't know.
No, there's no more reins on that. With Cooler in there, it's legit 100% movie characters are okay to be in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did say that the game is technically canon, right?
It could be.
Yeah,
they could technically make Tony 1 canon if the fans desire.
Yeah, I remember reading something about that. Now Brawley is technically canon, right?
Well, he will be by January.
He's canon now, right? I guess.
Yes, same thing.
Well, this might turn into like a Marvel thing where the game is sort of preceding the movies.
Yeah, actually. Because if they keep it going long enough, they could be like, yeah, let's just, promote the movies by adding DLC characters in.
Yeah. Because definitely the Stones worked out that way.
That's true. That's a good point.
Anybody else that you think will be in the game, Dave?
Well, I mean, I don't really care as long as it's not another Goku or Vegeta.
If you want Super Saiyan 4, it's definitely going to be another Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah, but that's like a whole different thing. That's like that is. I mean, they look different. What if we had a Golden Ape? But that'd be really.
You put a regular ape in there first. Jeez. Actually, what if they put heroes characters in there? Oh my god. They have like some freaked out like adult goating shit.
Yeah, I could see them. Master Roshi would be cool. I'd like to see that.
I actually think he has a strong chance of being in after his performance in Tournament of Power. It just feels like they would find a way to make it happen.
Maybe he and Krillin could have like some special level 3 together. But as long as we get like, so my thing is I don't like to play human characters, obviously. Gotenks is like, I guess, my new like human character, but Majin Buu and Ginyu obviously not human. Zarbon would be cool.
I do think they would look cool because they definitely have a very unique aesthetic that I feel would pop in the game. But like for me, I would like to have at least 1 or 2 super characters in the next one, and I think they need to definitely give Jiren a chance. Though I am not the biggest fan of that character, but seeing as he's a big protagonist, I feel like they could build off of that. They more likely will build off of that. Yeah, we probably will get a Gogeta. I don't know if I
don't see how that's not going to happen. I don't see how it can't happen. Either Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Omega Shenron, or Super Saiyan Gogeta and Janemba.
Janemba's a good probably shoe-in. Oh, you know what? The leak list, 17's pretty much in, right? Like,
yeah, we're pretty sure Android 17 is going to be his own character by the end of season 1.
17's pretty much going to be in, and here's the kicker for me, right? I said this a long ass time ago, but I was like, I would love Tapion to be in the game just because I like the way that he looks. He looks fucking cool.
Oh,
and he came out on one of those lists. I don't know how people would feel about that character being in the game because I feel like it's not like people identify with Tapion really. Like
he's kind of a bitch, man. Like he doesn't do anything except get choked out by that freaking giant monster like for every 5 minutes.
Dude, you could say that for a lot of characters. Then
I mean, it's true. It's a big ass monster.
Talking about Tapion right now.
Tapioca.
Yeah. So Chris, I don't know what you're talking about. You and Abe went on an hour-long rant about how awesome this character is, and now you're saying he's a bitch. The hell's wrong? You
I
sound
didn't.
like a bitch
So
right now,
this was
bitch.
my counter argument to what he just said, which is true. You're right. He's done this. He's also changed his position on a lot of things. Like fuck, what character did he just say today? Was like, I knew he was gonna be the shit, but it was like, he totally did it. Lucky I have bad memory. But if he's a little bitch, Gohan's a little fucking bitch. What did he fucking do in Super, bro? He just took a shit on the whole series. What did he do? He's supposed to be a main character. He didn't do shit. He was being a little bitch the whole time.
I've not got no argument against that though.
Okay, I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. If Gohan can make it, hey, let my boy get in.
Oh,
Why is it gotta be like that? I mean, Cooler ate shit too, twice. You know, and he's gonna be in the game. Come on.
at least it's a cool version.
All right. Well, yeah, that's as far as I'll go. I don't have too much in this game. I pretty much have all the characters that I would want in the game.
Yeah, I think that they're probably gonna just like start filling out the rest of the cast in terms of like how many IP and franchise characters can we throw in here. But I think most of the favorites are really already included. We might see some curveballs, like people been wanting to see Kid Goku in the game for like forever. So
more Gokus.
But this is different.
It's Kid Goku. It's the OG.
Just put Roshi in the game and make the character. You know how they release him in twos? You put Roshi and then you release his turtle as the secondary character. So
God, the turtle! Like,
ooh, that's my type of character.
That's all I want in this game. But let's next question is not really questions. Oh, here you go. Betting Monica says, now that Evo is passed and it was the greatest finals match ever, plus another balanced patch with the arrival of base Goku and Vegeta, has the meta changed or stayed the same for DBFZ?
Oh, it's completely changed. I mean, you had Cell Kid Buu as the meta before. Now the meta is it's Gotenks, and so you have like top four, right? You have like an adult Gohan, you have base Vegeta, who's like arguably in that top four. You have Gotenks, and God, who's that last character? I need a character list. DVFC characters.
You're talking about in season 2? Who's the top 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, people have been saying Genyus.
Yeah,
that is also a Twitter conversation.
Yeah,
saying Genyus.
I've seen 21. Actually, it's been kind of diverse from what I've seen. I'm in NorCal, so everybody plays all sorts of weird, wacky shit here. People still trying to hold that candle for Piccolo out here.
Dude.
Tension Han.
Oh, 16. 16.
Oh, okay.
16. That's the last one. So I think Gotenks in 16 was like the shell right now. So you've substituted your cell Kid Buu shell for a 16 and Gotenks shell, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Like, those two characters, those are like the two characters that also work really well together. So definitely the meta's changed because you've changed like
the approach.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're both still heavy mix up. I think it's just that you're trying to figure out who is your point character. Whereas your point character was pretty much Cell before.
Okay, I get that. And everybody was just trying to keep up with Cell doing Cell things.
Right. So now the meta is.
Oh wow, that means like you got to try to keep up with Android 16.
And the Gotenks assist. Like, how do I deal with like people doing Ki Blast into Gotenks assist?
Yeah.
Especially 16. His Ki Blast is godlike. And then just 16 himself, because once they get the hit with their point character, let's say they're using a base Vegeta or adult Gohan, like they have that option to tag into 16 level 3 at any moment.
And put that hard knockdown in the corner for the left right. Ew.
So in my opinion, that's where it's going. And then just like adult Gohan being so strong, like
yeah, they're not gonna change. That's never gonna change. That's just a good fighting game character.
they didn't really nerf him, so I think like the only barrier for him is actually for him and Base Vegeta both is a little bit of execution barrier.
Okay, so I have a follow-up question to this. Do you see people going back to the old team that they used to win with simply because they have developed so far with these characters that they, at the end of the day, are just better off going back to their old teams?
It really depends on who you are. Like the Gotenks isn't for everyone. He's kind of the new Kid Buu, but he doesn't really play anything like Kid Buu. So definitely Super Noon is. I feel like his strength might just be to play what he was already playing, because I think Kid Buu really is his character. But someone like Reynold was already playing Gotenks in 16, so he's perfectly fine.
That's a good point.
So, and it's same with to Kill Sage. He was already playing adult Gohan 16 and Gotenks. So that, I mean, there are people that are already playing. We're already playing the meta. Sonic Fox is in his own meta. So everyone's sort of waiting right now to see what Osaka does, I guess. Because I'm hearing, as of last night, I'm hearing rumors that Japan is doing a lot of experimenting right now in secret.
Oh, that's not surprising at all.
We've reached that level.
No way.
We've reached that level that now we're doing shit in secret.
This shit's real, man. Remember a year ago, people were just like, I don't know if this game's gonna make it. I don't know if this game is gonna make everybody serious. And I actually knew back at the summit that this shit was serious when I saw Dogra and the boys carrying that PS4 through the hotel lobby, talking about they was about to go shopping.
Dude, this is very reminiscent because there's so many things that can happen in this game, right? And like if you don't lab certain things, you will get hit with some new shit with this game. And stuff like that hasn't happened in a long time in the fighting game scene, where it's like, okay, I can keep this strat that I came up with to myself until we hit a big ass tournament and then let it out on them. You know, like I feel like that will be a thing going into the future, because now all these majors have a lot more behind it. You know, has a lot more meaning behind it, and they've had a good run to see how it works as a community when we all put our stuff out there. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a trend in the U.S. as well. I mean, I guess so, seeing as people already play each other on their own without streaming it. But as far as like withholding important shit, I don't know. What do you think, Dave?
Well, I mean, there's definitely well, part of the problem is that Americans really aren't interested in researching, I don't think. So if I thought people were watching me every week at Dropkick and Wednesday Night Fight, I probably wouldn't be showing off every mix-up that I know how to do. But I think I was already at that level where I was just thinking, should I worry that I'm showing off like my side switch cartwheel mix up like on a stream? But I definitely I've always done on stream something like that I think I'm going to use at a major. I think lots of people have that mindset. Like you don't want, and same reason why you don't play casuals with people like right before a tournament. Like if you're going to play them, I mean that's just not a good idea.
I'm gonna get so much shit on this guy though.
Yeah, it's never a good idea. And you'll see the Japanese players like actually at Combo Breaker.
So Goichi only played Sonic Fox the whole time.
Yeah. Well, because he's played like how many games with Sonic Fox, and he will just sit there with Fenrich and that Combo Breaker right before top 8 or top 16 or whatever. He was playing with Fenrich, and people asked for ups, and he said, "No, I want to only play with Fenrich right now."
This is exactly why I don't like exhibitions, because I know this is true. So it doesn't make me care so much of when there's an exhibition before the top 8. You know, when these players are that they're in top 8. You know, Like it's like, but how much really are they playing? And it's not even for money sometimes. You know, it's just
it's
like
gotta be for money. I wouldn't even care otherwise.
it's not always for money though.
But
Like
it should
yeah, it should be, but it's like, what's more important? That they win that money in the exhibition, or that they win this Dragon Ball or whatever at a major? You know, this is the types of decisions that these players that consistently plays at tournaments like this that they have to think about. And this is why I feel it'll only be good to watch exhibitions if the event is just exhibitions.
Mhm.
You know, not if it's attached to a tournament.
No, you're right.
That's
Right.
really
yeah.
important. Like for instance, that BCF, the thing that you were involved with not too long ago, like that's cool because what that is a bunch of exhibitions. But if it was attached to a tournament that had a bigger meaning to it, if you won, I would feel like that would sway the way that the games were played. So I won't be invested. You know.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's always been the case. It's just with the new patch being out, they are definitely gonna. I mean, they're doing this. I mean, Sonic Fox has done that. Like, he shows up to a tournament at Major, and he's like, "Here's this new team that I haven't really shown anybody, and here's this tech." Like, especially, I feel like the Cell Go Tanks Kid Buu team is that. I think that he was playing that team, huh? That team really he changed the meta with that first tournament he took where he just like bodied Goichi with Cell and Kid Buu. So I think definitely like people have been doing it for a while where they show up to a tournament and they're like, this is what I've been practicing in secret.
That's crazy, man. Things are gonna get crazy. All right, Gibby, do we got any more questions, my man?
We have nothing. Yeah. There's the kind of question, but it's yes or no. EX Brawling next year?
No.
No.
I hope not. Whatever. I don't care.
Okay.
What about Rod's question?
Rod CU.
Oh, Rod CU asked a question. Sorry, I haven't checked. Check. Rod CU. Which players do you think are on the rise and mostly see more of them in top 8?
I mean, right now it's pretty consistent. So.
Well, no Kami.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No Kami's like the secret killer, right? Is he gonna continue?
That's the question, though, because like no Kami is from North Carolina, right? So
I guess he's originally from New York, and now he's in North Carolina.
Yeah. So I don't know what his travel options are like. I think like Evo was like the furthest he'd ever been before, as far as he told us. And I don't know if he plans on like going to like Canada Cup or SCR. He could easily be one of the top 8 or probably even win one of the radar events and then go to a Saga event. But he's got to be ready to travel, you know?
Yeah. And there's a few of the earlier top players that have sort of dropped off, and I'm interested to see if they can sort of make a comeback. I mean, in my mind, I'm sort of thinking about like Nakiel and the Kill Sage. They sort of had a moment where they both showed like they could be, you know, top 5 in the world, and they haven't, like, they both have been struggling lately. So I think it's hard to predict who's going to be the sleeper that's going to come out of nowhere. But for me, it's definitely who have we been seeing at a lot of tournaments that maybe hasn't been performing as well as they were in the past, and who can make the comeback and who can't.
I'm gonna have to see it because honestly, I feel like it's too early for me to judge, especially Nakiel and the Kill Sage, on whether or not they peaked in Dragon Ball FighterZ.
I feel like Nakiel is really fucking good, but for some reason can't quite close. You know, like he has all the he studies the game. He has all the mix-ups. He has good characters. And then it gets to the point where he's going to place. He has the opportunity to place high, and then it just doesn't work out for him.
Do you think? Do you think it's
to me so many times?
Do you think it's the questionable decisions he makes? Because we've seen that where it's just like he makes one move.
The
exactly.
bigger question is, why is he making the questionable decisions? Like, see, that's something I guess we'd have to ask him ourselves. Like, so what happens when you feel that you've lost those matches or those decisions that you make that ultimately make you lose in those matches versus when you play everybody else, like you show some shit that we've never seen before that's like super hard to blockable, and you just can't convert. Like honestly, I haven't seen enough of his gameplay lately to be like, oh, his defense is weak. Like I can't like I can't make that judgment.
You saw him at BCF. He lost to Tatsu at BCF.
But then again, that's another thing. Is like, well, Tatsu's always been really good too, and he's been low key about performing in tournaments throughout the country. So, what is that? That's another thing that you got to think about. What is the reason why?
He's struggling at the locals, and so what is it? What is stopping him? Because he obviously could beat players like Nakiel, but he really hasn't won a local since month 1 or month 2.
See, I don't know, man. Like that's.
We need to have you guys on the show all at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
I suck.
There's just so many layers to this fucking onion, bro.
So I mean, Tatsu is really good, and I was actually talking to Reynold and Supernoon about this the other day. Like he could actually win against Nakiel right now because he is actually good. He's just like there's something holding him back, and I don't know if it's like his combo. Like some of his combo choices are, it's just like we can't figure out what it is that's stopping him from just like breaking off. Like breaking out, and I think Nakiel has the same problem. Yohozi obviously has the same problem, and it's hard to see. Like when you're watching Dragon Ball, I don't feel like match knowledge to like watch it and be like, this is what's stopping this person from winning. I mean, there's obvious things like bad vanishing, bad super dashing.
Yeah. And I think that's Nakiel's biggest problem because, like, when he's playing on his game, like, that shit is almost unstoppable, dude. Like, that is some top tier performing, and then it just gets away from him, you know? And he's unable to get it back. The recovery process for him seems to be the biggest problem with his game plan because I like to think of it as, like, you know, human beings playing fighting games, we're all going to screw up somewhere, right? It's about how you recover from that screw up. Is that what totally makes you the winner or a great player? And I don't think he's gotten his hands quite on that yet, you know? I don't think he's got his hands quite on that lightning in a bottle that he can just open up when things are looking bad, and he's like right back where he started, you know, right back mentally where he started.
I guess the one thing you could say for sure is clearly there's a barrier and we don't know what it is.
Yeah,
you know?
That's the only way I can see
because
it right
now. They're really good players, but there's a barrier because they've consistently not been able to cross that next level.
I will say they will fluctuate though. I think Nakiel will still fluctuate in and outside of top 8 at any tournament. He could totally make an appearance in top 8 at any tournament. I don't count him out for anything.
I don't think there's anybody he can't beat. With a lot of these guys, I don't think there's anybody they can't beat. But in a tournament, it's just different, you know.
Extremely.
Well, I can attest to that. Like I can do Majin Buu loops in my sleep. But put me on a stream and I can't even do fat throw mix-ups. So
damn. We're going mad basic.
Self nerf, bro. Take it back to 1.0.
Dude, the match with Kazunoko at Combo Breaker, I couldn't do an air backdash twice.
Oh my god, dude.
Like I jumped.
Was that the one where you did your mix-up and he would have died? I forget what it was, and I was like, bro, fucking.
Oh yeah. When I'm losing my fucking mind, yeah.
Dude, I was fucking losing it because he had the most gangster fucking play that he did on him, and the combo didn't complete or whatever. I forget what it was.
Yeah, that I let that game get away from me big time.
Dude, that was monumental because like no one had ever seen this game played like that. At least a grand majority of people didn't know you could do that kind of stuff in this game. And I was just like, I was telling them on stream, I'm like, dude, you guys are about to see this game played in a way you didn't know was possible.
Yeah.
And
what was weird about that tournament is that it was the tournament that Sonic Fox broke out with Cell and Gotenks and Kid Buu. So people really didn't think that it was a heavy mix-up game, I don't think, or, you know, that it was a heavy lockdown, like eat this mix-up type of game until that tournament.
Right.
And 16 got patched out, like with his hard knockdown, and the same for Adult Gohan. So I think people were thinking, you know, it's back to being heavy neutral. maybe.
Yeah, and then you told him you have to still block. You still got to block right.
Yeah, Majin Buu definitely, like, more than any other character, has the opportunity to just like blow you up.
Yes.
And I mean that is my shit.
There you go.
I just need to put it together and not
just keep it all focused, man. Just remember the game plan and just keep it simple, you know?
But yeah, I thought you said something interesting about Nakia, like, hit, like he loses his mental fortitude. Like, I think Dragon Ball, like the players that are at the top, they have great defense.
Yes, incredibly. Even Sonic Fox realized he had to improve his defense to be consistently on top. You know,
yeah.
There was a period of time where he was getting away with the offensive, onslaught that he's usually known for. But I think we first saw with Chris G, he was like, "Yo, I gotta learn how to block." You know,
he learned that fast. It took him one set to realize that, and then he's like, "Nope, I'm coming back out of losers. I'm about to make this."
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Ugh. He wasn't having fun anymore though at that point. He was like, "Dang it, man! I got to block. Why?
Yeah.
Got all this Goku Black neutral, and I still got a block."
That's what makes Reynold hard to fight. He's really good on defense.
Yeah.
God, dude, you know how there's some people who they make this conversation about, like, man, I thought I was smart, and then I talked to these guys and it made me feel stupid. Like, when I play against people like Reynolds or like Kazunoko or these Go One dudes, it definitely makes me feel like, oh, why do you even bother? Like, like for me, I mean, I don't play the game a lot or whatever, but it's definitely just gives you some insight into, like, wow, man, like there's people that are playing these games at an insanely high level that they're a walking fucking wall of destruction, and it's just so amazing to see this game that to how far they've taken it compared to when it was first announced and what people thought it was going to be, that it wasn't going to be supportive of high level gameplay or high level skill or anything like that. And to see where it's gone, and through give a lot of credit to fucking Go One for bringing out the best in fucking Sonic Fox, because if this dude didn't show that skill set, I don't think most people would have risen to that level.
No.
Like, these guys have changed so much in the game that have pushed people so far. So it's so crazy, man, to see where Dragon Ball's at right now.
Yeah, it's a good thing too.
Yeah. So I guess that's all the questions for tonight. So thank you guys for asking those questions. And I guess we'll have our closing comments tonight. And we'll close this out and let BrkrDave get back to whatever he needs to do. Stop taking up all his time.
I'm getting you.
Oh man, the bootanks, huh? So first of all, I want to thank BrkrDave for joining us tonight, and we're happy to be back. Mount Paozu Arcade, back on Thursdays, I guess. Next week we'll have another episode for you. Hopefully we'll have special guest Nokami on. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we gotta hit him up ASAP. We're all talking.
Yeah, I'm over here. This is the real blow up where I announce him on the show, and he's not even like locked in yet. Yeah.
Dude, because we would say this shit all the time. Like, we need to get fucking Dave on here. BrkrDave, come on.
Next year, Nokami will be on the show. That's our second top 8 appearance. But anyway, thank you guys for sticking around with us. We know this episode ran a little bit long, but we just had so much we wanted to get out and to you guys, and we appreciate you for sticking around. And tell a friend we're back. And let's get some sleep, everybody. So for everybody here at Mount Paozu Arcade GameCube Studios, keep it super, if you know what I'm saying.